Ukaoma was a peaceful village hidden between tall palm trees and long red earth roads. The people were kind, the nights were cool, and the moon always shone like a silver drum in the sky. But one season, everything changed. Young women in the village began to fall mysteriously. They were found weak and breathless, with 2 small marks on their skin. Marks that looked like the bite of a creature no one had ever seen. Fear spread like smoke. Mothers stopped their daughters from walking at night. Fathers kept their doors locked. Children whispered stories of a strange spirit that haunted only women, but no one could explain the truth. Soon, people started calling it the night danger. In the middle of all this fear lived a young man named Obinna. He was handsome, so handsome that women smiled when he walked past. He was a builder with strong arms, smooth skin, and a soft voice that could calm even a crying baby. But Obinna carried a secret darker than the night. Hidden deep inside his trousers, he kept a long, dangerous serpent that obeyed only him. He fed it, cared for it, and used it to harm innocent women. No one suspected him. Everyone liked him. He acted gentle, always smiling, always greeting, always pretending. Obinna was the storm hiding in sunshine. Each night, he charmed a woman, lured her with sweet words, took her to a quiet place, and then called out the serpent. By morning, the girl would be gone, and Obinna would be back in his house, sleeping peacefully like nothing happened. Ukaoma had no idea that their real danger walked among them, laughing with them, living with them. Far away from Ukaoma, in the city, lived Adaeze, a brave young woman with sharp eyes and a kind heart. She had grown up in Ukaoma, but left to learn and work in town. One day, Adaeze received terrible news. Her best friend, Ukaoma, had fallen mysteriously, just like the other girls. Adaeze's heart broke. Ukaoma was more than a friend. She was like a sister. She always laughed, always shared her food, and always stood by Adaeze. Adaeze wiped her tears and made a decision that would change everything. She said, "I must go back. I must find out what is happening in my village." That night, she packed her small bag and left the city. She did not know she was walking straight into danger.
When Adaeze arrived in Ukaoma, people were afraid, quiet and watchful. The once happy village looked sick, but something bothered her immediately. Obinna. He was too calm, too perfect, too smooth. His eyes held something she could not explain, something cold behind the smile. Whenever he walked past, Adaeze noticed the way he scanned the women. She noticed how his smile grew whenever he saw a lonely girl. She noticed how he avoided talking about the deaths. Her spirit kept whispering, "Watch him. Something is wrong with this man." Adaeze followed her spirit. Adaeze needed answers, answers no ordinary person could give. So she went to Ojima Hill, where the great oracle lived. The air was cold. The wind moved like it carried voices. The oracle, Nne Udoka, was old, wise, and powerful. She listened quietly as Adaeze told her everything. Then the oracle closed her eyes and said, "Child, The danger that haunts your village is not a spirit. It is a man, a charmer, a man who controls a deadly serpent. Adaeze's heart shook. She knew immediately who the oracle meant. Obinna. How do I stop him? She asked. The oracle brought out a wooden box. Inside it lay a small flute carved with ancient signs. This flute controls the serpent. Play it and the creature will obey you, not him. Adaeze held the flute with shaking hands. But be careful, the oracle warned. A cornered serpent strikes the hardest. Armed with the flute and courage, Adaeze began spying on Obinna. She followed him from a distance. She watched how he talked to girls. She studied his movements. She waited for the moment he would reveal his secret. One night, she saw him walking with a young woman named Chisom. Chisom was laughing softly, unaware of the danger beside her. Adaeze hid behind the trees, heart pounding. Obinna led Chisom to a quiet bush path. His smile faded. His eyes changed. He touched his trousers, whispering something Adaeze could not hear. Suddenly, the grass around them moved. Adaeze watched in horror as something long and dark slid out from Obinna's trousers. A serpent, large and deadly, crawling silently towards Chisom. Adaeze gasped. This was the truth. Obinna was the night danger. Before the serpent reached Chisom, Adaeze stepped out from hiding. "Stop!" she shouted. Obinna turned sharply, shocked. "Adaeze?" he hissed. "You should not be here." But she was not afraid. She lifted the flute and began to play. The sound was soft at first, like wind passing through leaves. But it grew stronger, sweeter, louder. The serpent stopped. Obinna's face twisted in confusion. The serpent turned. It began crawling toward Adaeze, not him. Obinna screamed, "No! Stop! Come back!" But the magic of the flute was stronger. Obinna ran toward Adaeze, eyes burning with anger. "You will not ruin me!" he shouted. But Adaeze blew the flute again, faster this time. The serpent raced forward, not to harm her, but to protect her. Obinna stepped back, terrified. The serpent struck, not with poison, but with the force of truth. It wrapped around Obinna, the man who had used it for evil. Obinna screamed and struggled, but the serpent obeyed only the flute now. "Adaeze, please," he begged. "Forgive me. I did not..." "You hurt too many innocent women," Adaeze said, her voice calm but strong. "Today the terror ends." The serpent tightened. The night danger was conquered. The next morning, the whole village gathered. Adaeze told them the truth. She showed them the flute. She showed them Obinna's dark secret. The villagers cried in shock. Mothers hugged their daughters. Fathers praised Adaeze. Children looked at her with wide, grateful eyes. Ukaoma was safe again. Adaeze became a symbol of strength, an example of courage, wisdom, and bravery. People told stories of her bravery around fires. Her name became a blessing on every tongue. And Obinna? His name faded into legend,
told only as a warning. Beware of those who hide danger behind sweet smiles. With the village free, Adaeze returned to the oracle at Ojima Hill. "You have done well," the old woman said. "You listened to your heart, you fought with courage, and you saved your people." A gentle wind blew across the hill. Adaeze smiled. She walked back home knowing that her friend Ukaoma would be proud, knowing that the serpent would never harm again, knowing that light will always defeat darkness. And so peace returned to Ukaoma. But the story of Adaeze, the brave girl with the magic flute, lived on forever.